Alright, this one we're going to just determine if these statements are true or false. If a shape is a rhombus, so the definition of rhombus is 4 congruent sides, then it is a rectangle, which is 4 congruent angles. So this can be true, and this is a special case where the rhombus is actually a rectangle. But in this specific case, since it's a general statement, it's a false. It's not always. And the counterexample would be just your typical rectangle. And if we want to go into super detail, we say opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent, not all 4 sides. Alright. Here, if it's a trapezoid, which then is a quadrilateral. Trapezoid is a quadrilateral. It's true. And we'll just do a little bit of explanation so maybe we don't in the future. It's a quadrilateral with at least one pair of parallel sides. And this is just a polygon with 4 sides. Remember, a polygon is a closed shape where all the lines or sides are straight. If it is a square, then it is a rectangle. So square is 4 congruent sides and 4 congruent angles. Great thing about Notability is we can just copy, paste. It meets the qualification of a rectangle. All right, this is true as well. All right, it has 4 congruent angles just like a rectangle. It's true. All right, and I guess we can rewind a little. No, we'll be fine. All right. If a shape is a quadrilateral, and it is a polygon, and the way I wrote this, yeah, it's true. It's a polygon with 4 sides, so this is true. Quadrilaterals is a type of polygons. Examples of polygons are triangles, pentagons, octagons, so on and so forth. A lot of these definitions. This is so fun. If a shape is a rectangle, so this one's going to require a little bit more thinking because that's the definition of that. If we just look at the barest form of the definitions, alright, parallelogram is opposite sides are parallel, but then if you go dive deeper into some of these qualifications, where in a rectangle, some of the things that are true are opposite sides are congruent, consecutive interior angles are supplementary, opposite angles are congruent. In fact, opposite sides are congruent, and I could have wrote it out here. This is going to look terrible, but I'm just going to put it here, parallel. Alright, it's actually true. A rectangle is a parallelogram. It has all the same properties as a parallelogram. It's just the fact that all the angles are right angles. It's just a parallelogram with a bunch of right angles. That's all it is. Alright. If a shape is a trapezoid, then it is a kite. Alright. This one, let's just draw some examples. This one might be easier than to write out. I'm just going to draw a random trapezoid and a kite. Again, we won't really write it out, but we'll just talk about it. right? If a shape is a trapezoid, then it's a kite. This is just false, all right? Consecutive sides are congruent in a kite. That's not the case in a trapezoid, all right? Again, there's special cases where that can be true, but this is not it right here. All right, if a shape is a parallelogram, then it is a rectangle, all right? This is false. So all rectangles are parallelograms, but not all parallelograms are rectangles. All right. And again, we're getting to the point where we can just maybe draw pictures. All right. Parallelograms don't have to have right angles. If a shape is a trapezoid, then it is a parallelogram. Boom. All right, so we built up some pre-work and these other problems where now we can just start drawing pictures and recite some stuff. No, trapezoid just has at least one pair of parallel sides. Parallelogram has to have two, so this one's false. All right. If a shape is a polygon, then it is a quadrilateral. It could be a triangle. So this one's also false. That's a counterexample. That shape does not have three sides, what I just drew. All right. So this is some of these converses that we've seen before. All right. If it's a kite, then it is a trapezoid. It doesn't have to be. There's a special shape, some special shapes where it's the case. This is not it. Big fat old false. If a shape is a rectangle, then it is a square, right? So we saw this all the way up here where if it's a square, then it's a rectangle. That's true, but this is false. Not all rectangles are square, all right? Using the definitions we talked about before, they don't have to have four congruent sides. All right. And this is really just the same question down here, or the same logic. I can just whoop. Wow. All right, because the definition of a rhombus is four congruent sides. So a rectangle can be a rhombus, but it doesn't have to be. It's basically the same exact concept as a square. No, similar, not the same exact. If it's a quadrilateral, then it's a trapezoid. Nah, it could be a kite. All right, that's a kite right there. Put the tick marks to prove to you that I drew a kite. And if shape is a parallelogram, then it is a trapezoid. Opposite sides parallel. At least one pair of parallel sides. So this is true. Boop, 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 boop. All right, this meets a qualification for trapezoid as well. This is a parallelogram that is also a trapezoid.